Who's starting these verbal altercations?
He will just disrespect me, and then I will go back at him.
She verbally abuses us.
You're raising children who are going to have to recover from their childhood. You're suing because you said she used $1,500 to get breast augmentation.
I get in touch with her family. They're like, she's probably in surgery right now. Surgery for what?
Well, sir, are you or are you not using the product that she purchased?
I actually just married an empty alcoholic.
And you rushed in it because you were looking for a Band-Aid. Here is today's case.
After 9 years of marriage, 2 mistresses, and countless reconciliations, can this husband finally commit to his marriage? That's today's case on Divorce Court.
Court is now in session. The Honorable Judge Faith Jenkins presiding. Your Honor, as you know, we have a virtual audience and it's filled with your superfans. Today's superfan of the day is Lavon from Baltimore.
Hello, Lavon. Welcome to Divorce Court. We're so happy to have you with us.
Your Honor, this is the case of Plair versus Plair.
Thank you, Juan. Latasha Plair.
Yes, Your Honor.
You have brought your husband, Mr. Douglas Plair,
Yes, Your Honor.
to divorce court today. I understand the two of you have been married for 9 years.
Yes, Your
Yes,
Honor.
Your Honor.
But you are now ready for a divorce, ma'am. You
Yes.
say the marriage is over.
Yes, Your Honor.
And you, sir, say you are here because you would like for her to reconsider.
Yes, ma'am. I would like to save my marriage.
Okay. I'll start with you, Miss Plair. Why don't you give me some background, ma'am?
Yes, Your Honor. I'm a veteran of 8 years, 2 tours, and I have weathered
you
a
for
lot
your
of
service.
storms. Thank you. And I've weathered a lot of storms. And this marriage, I'm not sure if it's worth weathering. I love my husband, but it's just a lot of infidelity, trust issues, helping out with the bills, and romance. You know, it's just a lot of things, and I would like to get some clarification to move forward.
Okay, and you say lack of romance
Yes.
is one of the issues. And what do you have to say about that, Mr. Blair?
I have made mistakes in the past, and I would like for her to forgive me so we can move forward and see what we have in the future, because our marriage have taken some hits on both our parts.
Okay.
And I'm trying to look toward the future, but if you keep bringing what's behind me in front of me, it kind of takes away from who we are.
Okay. Miss Plair?
Yes, Your Honor. Like, for instance, the first year of our marriage. Evidently, Mr. Plair had been going down meeting a female. Been meeting her, picking her up down the road or whatever. So I guess she got suspicious and followed him home. I get a letter in the mail telling me that she's dating my husband. I'm supposed to be a relative or something like that. He's showing private parts and, you know, she's trying to have a relationship with her.
This was the first year of the marriage?
I confronted him about it. You know, she's telling me all this stuff, and, you know, he admit that they didn't have sex or whatever. But my thing is, if we just not getting married, why are you entertaining other females? We just 1 year in the marriage.
You kept the letter? Is this evidence?
Yes, I have evidence of the letter. It's been submitted.
Okay, hello, I have been seeing your husband. He told me that you all were breaking up. Mr. Plair, is this a part of the past? You're telling her she needs to forgive and forget?
Explain what happened, please. Her and I, we had fallen out. I went to the store to get some cigarettes, and I met this woman, and we exchanged phone numbers. When I made it back to the house, she was at work, she wasn't home. I made the phone call, I met her down the street. I did tell her I was married. And once we got to where we were going, which was the park, she asked me to show her my package. And I did so. She compensated me with money. Out of spite, she wrote a letter, she put it in the mailbox. But she came home from work and checked the mailboxes when she found the letter.
Okay.
When she confronted me with it, I was honest about it. You know, at first I wasn't so forthcoming. But when I found out that she had a letter and she actually knew, I told the truth.
So you weren't honest about it? You were only
Not
honest
at
when you
first.
got caught? That's not being forthcoming, that's not being honest, you got caught. So what happens after that? Because that was just in your first year.
Right. After that, Your Honor, I started taking him to Western Union, like 2-3 times out the week. He starts telling me his family members. Then, I guess he ran out of family members.
Family members sending money?
Right. So, next thing I know, I find out it's a female. And she has been sending him money. This female has been a real big issue in our marriage. She's been a part of this marriage. It's might as well say me, her, and him for the past 8-9 years.
What do you mean by
And
that?
She sends him money. This lady has come to my house from down south
Your Honor.
and wrote down her name in lipstick on my door, trying to get my husband.
Is this a photo of the door you say she wrote on with lipstick?
Yes, I have evidence of that when she
This
wrote
woman
her
was-
name
Your Honor.
and then she had called or something, and I answered the phone. I got her on speaker. I got my husband sitting there. I'm telling her, asking what you send my husband money for, this and that, and this and that. She's married too now. But she sits and tells me this is our man. So I'm looking at him, telling him, you need to strain this. He act like he's sitting on the couch, ain't saying a word. So then After that, me and this girl get into it, we hang up. We get into it, next thing I know, about, what, a week later, she comes and gets him. He's gone back to Miami with her.
Okay,
Your Honor,
who
this
is
woman
she?
was a cash cow. It was no emotional ties. She was from Miami, where I'm from. I met her 2 weeks after being married on the internet. It was 3 years before this lady ever seen me in person, so for her to say a year later, that's not a true statement.
But she was sending you money.
She was, frequently, and that's what it was about. It wasn't
In exchange for what?
conversation. She was 10 hours away.
For
It was
your
a
conversation?
transaction. That's all it was.
What kind of transaction?
Money, because I could ask her for something, she won't exchange words, she'll do it. She won't ask what it's for, how much I need. She was sending money 3-4 times a month.
So you have friends that you just have conversation with, and in exchange for your conversation, they send you money.
Once upon a time, in times past, I'm no longer that person. I'm no longer in that place in my life.
In what place in your life? What kind of conversation?
Well, I dealt with multiple women for financial advancements. I'm gonna say it like that.
When do you say you turned over a new leaf, sir?
Maybe 5 months ago.
5 months ago, over the course of 9 years?
I mean, I'm here to tell the truth.
Yeah.
I'm happy you're telling the truth, but I'm also here to tell you there are consequences.
I know that, and I'm here to come clean and see if we could suffice to still make this work.
Mr. Plair, Mr. Plair, you came into court today, sir, and you told me she was still living in the past. So by the past, you meant 6 months ago.
Right.
No, 10 years ago.
No.
She brings up stuff right now today that has happened
Yes.
prior to being married.
Yes.
Well, sir, I think one of the issues is if things are still occurring as of 6 months ago, she sees it as a continuing problem in your marriage and your relationship. Was this a text or email?
Yes, it was a text he sent to me and her.
You sent an inspirational video on how to speak your desires into existence. And this was 4 months ago. I thought you told me 6 months ago you turned over a new leaf.
I did. I cut off all communication and anything.
So this was an
foreign parts.
accidental text?
It was just something to uplift. It was just spiritual.
I went to pick him up. We were separated. I came and got him for Christmas, this past Christmas. I said, are you done with Miami? He knew what I was talking about. He said, it's already in my rear view. As soon as we get into an argument, we have a few words or whatever. Next thing I know, I get a text. It's a group chat with family members and this girl, because I have her number programmed in my phone under. He sent encouraging words. So I'm like, okay, you say you done with this broad, and you say there's nothing there. This lady been in our marriage for 9 years.
So,
and you mean to tell me there's no emotional attachment to it? Tell me she was going through something. You should have took care of that before you left. If she was going through something, why didn't you call her from your mama phone and say, I hope you're doing okay and this and that and be done? Why is she still in the picture? But you want me to believe that she's nothing, you have no feelings for her.
let me see the text.
Yes.
You sent an inspirational video on how to speak your desires into existence. And this was 4 months ago. I thought you told me 6 months ago you turned over a new leaf.
I did. I cut off all communication and anything.
So
with
this was an
foreign parts.
accidental text?
No, it wasn't.
To her?
It was just something to uplift. It was just spiritual.
It's not cutting off communication, sir.
Your Honor, that's one text message in months.
One text, you told me you wasn't fooling with her.
Mr. Plair, you just don't have that kind of leeway in this kind of situation, sir.
Well,
when this has been going on for
Your Honor,
all these years.
Your Honor, I got more, Your Honor.
I both are guilty. She has not walked the chalk line. You understand what I'm saying? While I was in Miami, she had moved her boyfriend in the same house.
No.
The same house where
No.
this woman wrote her name and number.
Okay, after you moved to Miami with another woman,
My mother
and I would
lives
like
in
the
Miami
truth.
also.
No.
This is where she from.
So you were going to visit your mother?
No, I was going back to Miami, but at my mother's house is where I was living. Yes, we did see each other while I was in Miami, but I didn't go to Miami to move in and live with her.
Okay.
Yes, you did, Your Honor. I have a picture I've presented to around that time frame.
You just happened to see her while you were in Miami because you were in the vicinity.
No.
Is what you're saying.
We got into it because I confronted him about taking stuff from my home. He turns around and leaves. And 3 days later, Your Honor, he posts a picture on Facebook with this same female. 3 days later. Then, as time goes on, I say my birthday time, they at the park, she posts another thing with them, this celebration, this and that. That is when, in terms, I did entertain someone else. Then, after that, they got family pictures, you know, Happy Easter from my family to yours, Thanksgiving, this, all this is with this female.
Mr. Plair, is that true?
I have the pictures,
true,
Your Honor. I presented the
did not go
pictures.
to Miami to live with this woman.
Yes,
I
you
went
did.
to
What is,
Miami.
if the timeline of what she's saying is accurate and that you had left and this woman is posting photos with you on social media
can I control that?
for the entire world to see, you can control your presence and who you have in your life when you're married, sir. That's what you're supposed to do when you're a good husband. And these women wouldn't be posting these pictures if you weren't with them, kikiing and smiling.
I saw pictures
in the
of
photo.
a dude going live in front of the house I lived in with her when I was
Mr.
home.
Plair,
That's the same thing.
Mr. Plair, you don't have a leg to stand on, sir. When you have left your marital home,
I had no choice.
you have had a whole lot of choices of the 9 years that you've been together. And you've made, apparently, a lot of bad ones.
I'm not the only one.
10 years, I have paid all the bills.
That's not true.
If that's not true, ask him when has he paid a mortgage? When has he paid a light bill, gas bill, phone bill? When he has paid in car insurance?
Mr. Plair, tell me a percentage of the monthly household bills that you cover. If you'd like your case to be heard on divorce court, call us toll-free 1-877-311-2222 or log on to our website at divorcecourt.com. Miss the show? Watch full episodes on our streaming platforms and follow us on social media for exclusive content. Your problem is you are so focused that every time I just want simple answers to my questions, you say, but she's not as innocent as she says. Because you came into court today and say, I admit to the things that I did wrong, but I want to leave them in the past. But all I've heard are excuses.
I want
That's
to
all
see
I'm
my
asking.
family, not to move in with her. She says that.
That's not relevant. What's relevant is the fact that you have this other woman, she's posting photos with you, and now you're upset because she's entertaining someone else. That, sir, is the equivalent of a double standard.
I was never upset she entertained anyone else. When I left, I knew that it was a chance that that could happen, and I did not care. But once her and I talked, and we decided, okay, we're gonna give it another shot, and I came back to my home.
What happened?
We were supposed to leave that there, and we have been all right up until currently.
So what do you say she did wrong?
She has been unfaithful just as well as I have.
Okay.
We both have.
When the two of you were separated and she entertained someone
Yes.
else, is that what you're talking about,
Yes.
sir?
That was one encounter.
What other encounter?
We had just got married. She had pictures of a dude, her children's age, 23 years old, of his penis in her phone.
Oh, my God. Your Honor, this happened.
So you're saying after the two of you were married,
The
somebody
same
was
time
sending
that I was
her...
messing up, she was messing up.
No, I was not, Your Honor. A 23-year-old liked me. This man sent a text of his whatever. That was it. It was no communication. It was no
a whole
dates.
conversation
It was
I
no
read.
kisses. It was none of that. It was someone who was liking me.
So why do you want to stay in the marriage?
Right now, because we're past all that, we're here trying to deal with unresolved issues. What we do is sweep it under the rug or put a Band-Aid over it.
Yeah,
We never deal with it.
I don't think Ms. Plair is past it. I don't think you are either, because I'm looking at text messages from a few months ago. Let's talk about the last year.
The past 6 months have been all right.
Okay.
Before the past
Yes.
6 months, it's
My
been
other
what
issue
it's always
is
been.
he does not help me with finances.
That's not a true statement.
He makes money sometimes. When he does make money, he
She
gives
stops me from making
here
money.
and
Sure.
there. 10 years, I have paid all the bills. He has helped every blue moon.
That's not true.
If that's not true, ask him when has
That's
he paid
not
a
true.
mortgage? When has he paid a light bill, gas bill, phone bill? When he has paid in car insurance? He has helped put gas in the car, yes, true
Put
enough.
gas in the
When
car.
he makes some money, he does help every now and then, but I know he can do better.
Mr. Plair, if you were to tell me a percentage of the monthly household bills that you cover financially, what would that percentage be?
Hardly none.
Thank you.
Hardly none.
Listen, let me explain. When I give her money and the bills are already paid, I could give her $500. Nor she'll say, oh, you ain't give me nothing, da-da-da-da-da. I
Plair.
get $5,000 jobs. Nor she do? Come and sabotage it. Why I can't make money and help her. Then she'll say, oh, you're not doing this. But
No.
you'll go where I'm working at.
How is she sabotaging
She'll
you?
go where I'm working at. Make a scene. Talk loud.
Ryan!
Infidelity and financial dependence are a recipe for marital disaster. It all boils down to your goals and interests in the marriage and your rights under the divorce laws in the state that you reside in. Let me break it down. If your spouse is not being loyal or nice, You should consult with an attorney for sound legal advice.
Where are you in terms of the divorce? If it's been so bad, why have you stayed in the marriage for so long?
Not true.
For one, I do love my husband. And we have history. I mean, don't get me wrong. He's a good man. When he wasn't working, I will say I came home. Our house was always clean. The clothes was always washed. I always had a hot cooked meal. He's been so used to being taken care of and women doing for him to now it's like, I need your help. And I don't know if he don't know how to handle that or he's gotten comfortable. But he do give when he can, but I know you can do more and you can do better. That's all. I love my husband, and I do want the marriage to work, but I want to make sure that broad is completely out of our marriage, because to be married to someone and have another female for 8 years in your marriage, that's a lot for me to swallow and to just accept.
So she wants to know today where you are in terms of this other woman.
I'm trying to move forward.
You're trying to move forward. Okay, what does that mean, sir?
I'm making strides to be a better me by first not doing.
So you're not talking to that woman anymore. She's out of your life completely.
No, ma'am. I just want to tell her I'm sorry for hurting her and for what I did do wrong, and I'll do better. It wasn't my intentions to hurt you, but we were in a bad place, and we both made mistakes. I mean,
the problem is there have been some patterns that have been established over the course of the last 10 years, and not really much has changed. When you have the history that the two of you do, the only thing that matters is a change in behavior, showing that you've changed, because the words really don't mean anything.
Have you not seen a change?
Yes, I have seen some change.
When is that? The last few months?
Yeah, the last few months.
Well, Miss Plair, if that's good enough for you.
No.
Let me tell you something. You're gonna have to dig a little deeper than scratching the surface that you have in divorce court today, because your marriage will only be as healthy as the two people who are in it. And right now, I see a lot of really unhealthy, boundary-crossing behaviors and patterns between the two of you. You will not have a healthy relationship until you start behaving in a healthy manner towards each other. It's gonna take a lot of work. It's easy to get in, but once you're in, that's when the real work starts. So for 10 years, you've had these behaviors that you talk about. You want to start fresh and new now? That takes another level of commitment, honesty, trust. Show her rather than tell her. Because remember, we're past the talking stage now. We're in the show me stage. Miss Plair, you want to still salvage whatever you have left in this to see if there's some trust or something left. I advise you to sit down with a marriage counselor and to try to unpack some of the things that have happened to see if you can really move past it. Because I'm gonna tell you something, no one ever really moved past if they haven't processed the pain.
Thank you.
Right.
You can't just forget it and act like it didn't happen. Every time a text comes through, it's like ripping off the Band-Aid.
Yes.
And it makes the wound fresh all over again.
Yes.
That's why you're still talking about stuff from year one. That's why you're still talking about stuff from year two. If you want something different, you have to be something different right now. Because everybody does grow, everybody does evolve, but it's never gonna be because you want him to. It's never gonna be because you're nagging, complaining, fussing. It has to be because he wants it.
Right.
What is the incentive? That's what you have to keep in mind.
You're right.
We're gonna get a counselor to talk to both of you today. So it starts right now. Good luck to both of you.
Thank you.
The best advice that I received today from Judge Faith was, let your actions speak louder than your words. Show your love and not just confess it with your mouth.
Judge Faith, from what she said, I need to really dig deep and change within myself. Divorce, it is, we don't put on the back burner for right now, and we're gonna try the counseling. That's something we haven't done. And everybody see this face? This is my husband, Douglas Plair. If anybody see this face, FaceTime me. This is my husband. I love him. He ain't going nowhere. He gonna get it together. So y'all women just stay away. So he inbox y'all, inbox me. Thank you.
Wow.